Hey boys and girls, Miss Noble here. Today's reading lesson is going to be about the difference between a letter and a word. Okay, now some of you are probably thinking, Miss Noble, you're crazy. We already know the difference, but you know what? That's my job to tell you the difference between a letter and a word. So here we go. So I'm going to kind of step out of the camera for a second so you can see my chart. And I've written for you up here some of the letters that we've already talked about this year. As you can see up here, letters T, B, F, and M are up here. Now, the way I want you to think about this is that the letters are little pieces. They're little pieces that each have a really important part, and that important part is their sound. Okay, so letters have an important part, which is their sound. So the letter sound for T would be T, then B, then F, and then M. And that's the really important part that they bring to a word. So that they are all these separate little guys, right? T, B, F, and M. They're all their own little guys. They're all hanging out by themselves. They're separate letters. But when you start bringing letters together and pushing their important parts, their sounds, okay? Pushing their sounds together, they create words, okay? And so words are a group of letters pushed together to create something that means something, okay? And you're like, what, Miss Noble, what? Yes, so what I mean by mean something is when I take letters F and O and G and I put them together, it creates this word right here, which is the word fog, okay? So I took all these letters and I stuck them together and I created a word. So a word is a group of letters that come together to create meaning, okay? So over here, I have three letters here. I have C, A, and T. And when I take those letters and put them together to create meaning, they mean the word cat, okay? Now some of these, and then we come down here, we all know this word, right? When we take these letters, T, H, and E, and we put them together to create meaning, they mean the word the. Okay, so a letter is one little guy that stands on his own, and his important part is his sound, okay? So letters are one little guy, and a word is when a group of letters comes together to create meaning, okay? Now, there are two exceptions. Now, can you say exception? It's a big fancy word, right? Exception means a little bit different and doesn't follow the rules. So last week, I'm just going to flip to a clean page if I can. Last week, we talked about the sight word that looks like this. Okay, now this is the sight word right? Or we said a, either way is okay. It is also the letter A, okay? So this lovely letter / word is one of the only words that could be a word and a letter, okay? So he's on his own world over here, okay? A is super special. He's the exception. He follows the world. He doesn't follow the rules, okay? All the other letters can't hang out by themselves, except, this was where it gets really tricky, okay? This guy right here. Now this is the word I, right? It's also the letter I, but what I want to point out is anytime we are using the word I, like I am Miss Noble, or I am going to the store, or my mom and I are going to the bank, anytime I'm using the word I, it's a capital, okay? A capital I. If you have this I, that's just a letter. He's hanging out by himself. His important part is his sound I. This is just a letter. Capitalize a word. Just a letter, a word. Okay, and then this part right here, letter A and word or A, only one that's super special. Okay, it could be both. It can be the letter or it can be the word. All the other letters, and I'll go back to my initial example, okay? Whoop. all of the other letters, and these are just some of our examples, can only hang out by themselves. Okay, if they're a letter, they're by themselves. When they come together with other letters, that's when they create a word. Okay, a little tricky, but what I want you to just take away from this, really, letters hang out by themselves. A group of letters comes together to create a word and have meaning. Okay, so what I'd like you to do today is go ahead and practice either on Raz Kids with a real book or with a real book, okay? On Raz Kids or with a real book. And I want you to be looking, okay? Looking to see if you can find some of the letters in the words on the pages that you know, okay? Or maybe you know some of the words. And then I want you to tell a grown-up, hey, guess what, grown-up? This is a letter, this is a word, okay? That's your job today. See you soon, boys and girls. Bye.